In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on November 9, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Florida State versus Notre Dame. In this non-conference showdown, an Atlantic Coast Conference team faces off against one of the remaining independent programs under the iconic Golden Dome. The Florida State Seminoles hit the road to take on the number 10 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish this Saturday evening. Florida State enters this game on the heels of a tough 35-11 home loss to North Carolina last weekend, where they failed to cover as a 2.5-point underdog. On the other hand, Notre Dame comes off a bye week after dominating number 24 Navy in their last outing on October 26th with a resounding 51-14 victory on the road, easily covering the 14-point spread. Historically, the Seminoles hold a narrow 6-5 edge in the all-time series, but the Fighting Irish have gotten the better of Florida State in their last 3 encounters, including a thrilling 41-38 win on the road in their most recent matchup on September 5, 2021. There's no denying that Florida State's rapid decline over the course of a single season is nothing short of baffling. This is a program that narrowly missed out on the college football playoff last year, and yet this season, their only victory has been a narrow 14-9 win over Cal, with uncertainty surrounding the availability of quarterback DJ Uiagalelei for the remainder of the season. And given the ongoing struggles of the Seminoles offense, it's difficult to envision a sudden turnaround. Meanwhile, Notre Dame enters this game riding a 6-game winning streak, benefiting from an extra week of preparation after their bye, and boasting one of the most formidable defenses in the country. With these factors in play, it's hard to see Florida State keeping pace with the Fighting Irish in this matchup. For this reason, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Florida State has consistently failed to hit the over in 8 of their 9 games this season, and they've stayed under the total in 2 of their 3 road games. Their only over came in a lopsided loss to SMU back in late September. On the other hand, Notre Dame has gone 4-4 against the total in their 8 games this season. The Fighting Irish have alternated between overs and unders in their home games, with back-to-back overs in wins over Louisville and Stanford. Given Florida State struggles to generate offense, especially against a top 5 scoring defense on the road, it's hard to see the Seminoles putting up many points in this game. As a result, we're selecting the under for the total points in this matchup. It's difficult to pinpoint where Florida State's offense might find success in this contest. The Seminoles' offense has been among the worst in the country this season, ranking 131st out of 134 Division I schools with just 4.2 yards per play. In terms of scoring, they're averaging only 15 points per game, which places them a dismal 133rd nationally. Things are unlikely to get easier for them against a stout Notre Dame defense that's allowing just 12 points per game to Football Bowl subdivision teams, ranking 4th in the nation. Meanwhile, as previously mentioned, Notre Dame thrives on the ground game, where they excel at controlling the clock and dictating the tempo of the game. The Fighting Irish rush on 55.64% of their offensive plays, which ranks 39th in the country. Expect them to rely heavily on their running attack once again as they seek to dominate both the offensive and defensive lines of scrimmage. With Florida State's offensive struggles and Notre Dame's ability to control the game on the ground, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Alabama versus LSU. A long-standing Southeastern Conference rivalry is set to reignite this Saturday night as the number 11 Alabama Crimson Tide face off against the number 14 LSU Tigers. Last season, Alabama emerged victorious in the matchup, winning 42-28 in a dominant performance at home. Both teams enjoyed a much-needed bye week this past Saturday, allowing them time to prepare for this high-stakes contest. For Alabama, their most recent game was a commanding 34-0 win over number 21 Missouri at home, where they covered as 16.5-point favorites. Meanwhile, LSU suffered a tough loss on the road to number 14 Texas Agricultural and Mechanical, falling 38-23 despite being slight 1.5-point underdogs. With both teams sitting at 6-2, this game is likely to serve as a pivotal elimination contest for college football playoff hopes. Given the intensity of this rivalry and the stakes on the line, I'm picking the home team, LSU, to cover the spread in this heated matchup. Alabama will be traveling for this game, and it's been on the road where their troubles have begun. The Crimson Tide have struggled away from home in recent games, suffering losses in their last 2 road matchups, one to Vanderbilt and another to Tennessee. Alabama has not demonstrated the same level of mental toughness that helped define the Saban dynasty, and this will likely be an issue once again as they face a strong LSU team in Baton Rouge. The Tigers' passing attack is potent, ranking 6th in the nation in passing yards per game. LSU also boasts 2 wide receivers who have each surpassed 600 receiving yards already this season. Quarterback Garrett Nussmeier has proven to be unflappable under pressure, having taken only 2 sacks in the past 5 weeks, both of which came during a tough loss to Texas Agricultural and Mechanical when the team was forced to pass more frequently. LSU's offensive line has given him ample time to find his playmakers downfield. On the other hand, Alabama's defense ranks 35th in the nation against the pass, and I believe LSU's aerial assault will be the key to victory in this game. With all that in mind, the LSU Tigers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. When it comes to quarterbacks, both Nussmeier and Alabama's Jalen Milroe are no strangers to big game moments and will likely look to air it out in this showdown. Both know they'll need to outgun the potent offenses on the other side to secure a win. Nussmeier has been stellar, passing for more than 320 yards per game and already accumulating 20 passing touchdowns this season. He will sit comfortably in the pocket and look to make plays downfield, firing up the home crowd in Tiger Stadium. For Alabama, Milroe will continue to be a key contributor, keeping the offense moving and driving the ball down the field when needed. Milroe had an impressive outing earlier this season, leading the Crimson Tide to 41 points in a primetime clash against Georgia, and he will be ready to help Alabama put up another strong showing here. In their last game, Alabama found success with their running game, scoring 4 rushing touchdowns. This physical, ground and pound approach will be an asset for them if needed in this contest. Both teams possess potent offensive units and rank higher offensively than defensively, with dynamic playmakers all over the field. The stakes couldn't be higher for this game. The loser will have their college football playoff aspirations dashed, making this a must-win for both teams. With no playoff hopes to save, both squads will leave it all on the field, taking risks and playing aggressively throughout the contest. The high stakes and offensive firepower from both sides should lead to a thrilling, high-scoring shootout under the lights at Tiger Stadium. Given the potential for a shootout and the explosive offenses on both teams, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington versus Penn State. On Saturday night, the Washington Huskies will head east to face the Penn State Nittany Lions in a high-stakes Big Ten showdown. Currently, the Huskies hold a 5-4 record on the season, coming off a year in which they made an appearance in the national championship game last January. This marks a significant contrast to their current form. The Nittany Lions, on the other hand, are enjoying a strong season with a 7-1 record, though they suffered their first loss last week at home against the Ohio State Buckeyes. This loss was particularly hard-fought, as Penn State was in control for much of the game before ultimately falling short. The 6th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions will enter this game motivated and eager to prove themselves after their tough defeat to Ohio State. They were in a commanding 10-0 lead early in that contest but let it slip away, which cost them a chance to compete for the Big Ten championship. Despite this setback, they are still very much alive in the race for a college football playoff berth, and the pressure will be on them to perform strongly in their remaining games. It will be critical for Penn State to start fast and assert dominance early against the Huskies. Washington has struggled when facing potent offenses this season, and this trend continued even in their victory last week against USC. Although the Huskies won the game, they still allowed over 400 yards of offense to the Trojans. Additionally, Washington has not fared well on the road, going 0-3 in away games so far this year and allowing 71 points combined in their last 2 road trips to Indiana and Iowa. With Penn State aiming to make a statement in this matchup, the Huskies will likely feel the brunt of that determination. Furthermore, Washington's offense, which ranks 98th in scoring this season, is unlikely to put up significant numbers against Penn State's 7th-ranked scoring defense. While the Nittany Lions only have one loss this season, that defeat came just last week against Ohio State. Despite holding a 10-0 lead early in that game, the Nittany Lions were unable to capitalize on their defensive efforts, and their offense faltered when it mattered most. This loss was another disappointing blow for Penn State, but they remain in contention for a spot in the college football playoff. Meanwhile, Washington has had a bit of a bounce-back performance after 2 consecutive losses, securing a win over USC last week. However, the Huskies are still winless in conference play on the road this season, sitting at 0-3. Given Penn State's high level of play, particularly against teams outside of Michigan and Ohio State, it's reasonable to expect them to rebound strongly this week. With the Nittany Lions' playoff aspirations still intact, they will look to reassert themselves with a dominant performance. Therefore, the Penn State Nittany Lions to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Washington Huskies' defense has been exposed over their last 3 games against Iowa, Indiana, and USC, allowing well over 400 yards of total offense in each contest. In these 3 games, the Huskies surrendered an average of 31 points per game, highlighting their struggles on that side of the ball. In contrast, Penn State was unable to score an offensive touchdown against Ohio State's elite defense last week, but the Nittany Lions will be eager to turn things around when they return home to face Washington. For the season, Penn State has a solid 3-1 record at home, and prior to their loss to Ohio State, they were averaging an impressive 34.5 points per game in Beaver Stadium. Washington's best chance to stay competitive in this matchup will be through their offense, as their defense has proven vulnerable. With this in mind, we expect the total points in the game to exceed the projected line, making over the projected total our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.